As we get closer and closer to free agency commencing there on July 1st, a lot of questions for Brad Treliving heading into this offseason, and he finally has made some moves. And look, we listed off the free agents, restricted and unrestricted, in the season review offseason preview video. And we talked about how this is a really important offseason considering how many new faces are going to be coming into the team. You know, we listed off the names. Obviously, Austin Matthews up at the end of next year. That's a big question mark. Willie Nylander, same deal. David Kampf was a free agent after this season, this past year. Noel Acciari, Zach Aston-Reese, Michael Bunting, Alex Kerfoot, Ryan O'Reilly, and Wayne Simmons, all unrestricted free agents going into this. And then you have unrestricted free agents on defense. You have Eric Gustafson, Justin Hall, and Luke Shen. And Ilya Samsonov is still an RFA. So you had all these question marks going into this. Well, they've made some of these moves. And I didn't even go through the RFAs, right? Let's start with the RFA. They brought back Pontus Holmberg 2 years on an $800K contract. He came up to the NHL, did some really good things with the team, albeit, more or less was depth for the Leafs. And he's a guy that's going to be in the Marlies for a little bit, and maybe, depending on how the offseason goes, could be groomed into that fourth-line center at least this upcoming season. The big one of the day, though, David Kampf. A lot of guys thought that he was going to be gone. However, David Kampf re-signs in a 4-year deal worth $2.4 million for 4 years. The 29-year-old guy, look, people love to look at just points, and that's how they go off a player. 2.4, yeah, it ain't the prettiest of contracts, but Kalle Järnkrok got 2.1. Interesting how David Kampf got $300K more than Kalle Järnkrok, albeit two different GMs signed these contracts, and I believe Kalle got 4 years as well. But what is David Kampf for the Toronto Maple Leafs? And that is something people quibble on, right? You're not going to get much offense from David Kampf. We've learned to accept that. You know he's a great face-off man. You know he's one hell of a penalty killer. And that's what he's done for this team since he's come over from Chicago. Is 2.4 a little bit of a stretch? It could be right now. If you heard the news that the salary cap is going up $1 million this year, so it's not really all that much. However, what that means is we are now starting to build up again. So these longer-term contracts are going to help teams moving forward. So will this David Kampf contract look good in year 3 of that deal? Probably. Because $2.4 million, considering the cap hits and everything, will look significantly better. Now, right now, does it look really sexy? Probably not. But over time it will. And people don't realize how important David Kampf is to the Toronto Maple Leafs. But what they have to figure out is what role is this guy going to play? Is he your fourth-line center, penalty killer, defensive zone face-off man, whatever the case may be? Or is he your third-line center? But let's be honest, you want a little bit more offensive punch from a guy who's going to be on the third line, and David Kampf just is not going to give you that. So what is that going to mean moving forward? I don't know. All I know is that as a player himself, I love David Kampf. I love what he's brought to this team over the last, 2 or 3 years he's been with the Leafs. And sure, he got a little bit of a pay upgrade. You know why? Because he's a better player than he was when he came over to the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's no doubt about that. So he deserves a little bit of a raise, and he got it at 2.4. Sure, people are going to hate the Leafs for the signing. You know why? Because that's just in people's nature. Do I love the signing for the first year of it? Depending on how the cap situation, shapes up the rest of the way, we'll see. Do I hate the Kalle Järnkrok 2.1? Not really. He's going to be a 20-goal scorer in the regular season, albeit come playoff time he was really non-existent. David Kampf, you could arguably say, was one of your best players. That line of, what was it, Kampf, Lafferty, and Noel Acciari? I could be wrong, but they were a hell of a force in the playoffs. If you watch the games in depth, you would have seen that. And you need those guys. So for David Kampf, 4 years, look, I don't know anybody who doesn't like David Kampf. So at 2.4, I'm okay with it, as much as, it seems like maybe a little bit of a steeper price. But again, You got to pay the guys. And with the cap now going up, it can only look better moving forward. But we'll see how this whole thing goes. I mean, obviously, we can't judge this contract. If they have to trade Willie Nylander or anybody else because they had to re-sign David Kampf, then yeah, of course, it's a nut job scenario. But they brought back David Kampf. I love the guy. I love the guy as a player. I love, like, me personally as a defenseman myself. Whenever I played the game, I love the way he plays hockey, and I love it. So, hey, love David Kampf coming back. Pontus Holmberg, 2-year deal at $800K. You can't complain. That 24-year-old kid showed a little bit of punch there in the NHL last year. No problem at all. And giving him 2 years, it's not just like a 1-year, prove-it contract. No, it's a couple of years. So good stuff for Pontus Holmberg. Now, we move forward. And a lot of question marks are on the horizon for the Leafs. Like I said earlier, July 1st is on the way, and I'll be here every step of the way. If they do any more signings like this, I'll be here to talk about it. But the remaining unrestricted free agents for the Leafs, Noel Acciari, who Leaf fans love. I love and I want him back badly, but we'll see what happens. Zach Aston-Reese, if he's on like a 1 year, $750K, sure, but not a big deal. Michael Bunting, I think it's farewell for Michael Bunting. I just think it's it for him. Alex Kerfoot, look, I think at the right price, you'd want him back, but what was he making, like 3.4, 3.5, something like that on his past contract? Yeah, obviously not that. And you can't give him maybe you give him a David Kampf contract, 2.4, maybe even less than that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Ryan O'Reilly, Leaf fans obviously want him dearly. I don't know what the price would be for him, but we'll see. And Wayne Simmons, I think the ship has sailed for Wayne Simmons. On the defensive end, Eric Gustafsson, yeah, I'm okay with letting him go. Justin Hall, I don't even need to say anything. And Luke Schenn, Leaf fans want him back desperately, and rightfully so. And obviously, Ilya Samsonov, sure, you want him back, but you got to get rid of Matt Murray's 1 year at 4.6, which is going to be tough. And you're going to have to attach something to it, which is going to be swell. Can't wait for that to happen. But no matter what, David Kampf is a Toronto Maple Leaf for the next 4 seasons, at least contractually. And Pontus Holmberg is back with the Leafs for 2 years, contractually. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about David Kampf coming back and Pontus Holmberg coming back. As I mentioned with David Kampf, love the player. The term at the first bit of the contract, he's not perfect. But over year 2 and year 3, when the cap starts going up and up and up, that's when you're going to start seeing that 2.4 looking quite gorgeous for David Kampf. But as of right now, we'll see. Pontus Holmberg, love it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, and I don't know, we're hyped up for free agency season because it's entertaining. Smack the like button. Do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on David Kampf being a Toronto Maple Leaf again, and Pontus Holmberg re-signing with the Leafs. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below, so follow up there if you guys not done so already. And I will talk to you guys Jay's edition later tonight, Game 2 of the 3-game set against the San Francisco Giants at Rogers Center. We'll see how that one plays out. And as for the Leafs, I'll talk to you guys throughout the entire offseason. Whenever there's new signings, trades, free agency signings, I'll be here for it. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and are jacked up for the offseason. We'll talk to you guys then.